Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Capes Cast podcast. I am Jeremy,
And I'm Ryan.
and today we are going to be talking all things Batman Dark Age. So not just the final issue, which came out last week, but the entirety of the series, like generally just what we liked, what uh what we thought worked. I mean, I pretty much think everything worked. I was a big fan of this book, plus the previous series that Russell and Allred did with Superman Space Age. Um, yeah, I from start to finish, like from like Space Age, this one, just I think it has something to do with I just really enjoy Allred's art. So no matter what he's drawing, I just get enjoyment out of it. And it's
Yeah.
nice because he really gives these characters a unique but still like timeless feel.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it for me. And that might be part of the reason why I really love Dan Slott's Silver Surfer so much is because
Oh,
it's all red on art. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm a huge I love art. So
Yeah.
like
And
art's the big draw for me. So
and Laura Allred, she's always killing it, man.
yeah,
Those colors,
great colors too
yeah, those colors are
by his
always
wife.
just popping, like popping colors.
Before we open this one, before we like actually dive in, what do you think of this suit?
I liked it a lot. I think it's really cool. I like that he has his own like dark age suit for this, you know. It's like
Yeah, I and maybe this is like recency bias or just I'm biased because of the book that it's from, but I this low key might be one of my favorite Batman designs.
it's like a darker, like Adam West looking kind of,
Yes. Yes.
like a darker Adam West. Like it's really cool because it just
It's
kind of
just really
nails that like time period, you
right.
know.
It's really sleek. Like it's not like over designed. You have a really simple belt design. The logo is a dark gray. The entire suit is black with like little shades of purple in there.
Yeah.
But it also looks really nice next to Catwoman too, with her really simple design as well.
Yeah. And notice
So
that the ears are a little thicker and shorter for both of them. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
really like that too, I don't know. This Batman just always feels like there is a dark edge to it, but there is some Adam West there
yeah.
every
Well,
now and then, you know?
I think a good way to like describe this Batman is like most iterations of Batman, he hasn't given up on Gotham, but he's given up on this idea that Gotham can be like that Gotham just is. And
Right.
he has to like, kind of like quell the disturbances, protect the city. Like he's just come to accept the fact that Gotham is its own monster.
Right.
And that like it's never gonna heal, it's never gonna change, like and that's just how and that's kind of like the vibe that I feel like is put out a lot with with most Batman stuff.
Right.
So what I feel makes this Batman so different is that like you said, like that classic Adam West, like little bit of a mix in there, but it just seems like he's never once given up on the idea that Gotham can be something better than what it is. Like
Right.
because this whole series centers around this idea that his parents had, which was the city of tomorrow,
Yeah.
was to like make Gotham like, you know, like break into a new frontier of like just technological advancements, architectural advancements, you know, people just living and thriving and being happy in the city and being safe and all of the benefits that could come with that.
Right.
And everybody working together for literally a better tomorrow. So
It's
it
like
was nice.
futuristic utopia in a way. It's like
Yeah.
very, yeah.
Yeah. And like there are points in this book where like we like early on we see like the project got defunct when the Waynes died.
Right.
Nobody was putting money into it. Lucius Fox was the only one who had any kind of like emotional investment into it because he had been there with the Waynes. So when Pariah takes over and the new board takes over, he's, like they just don't care. It's not profitable. So like it almost seems a lot like that's what Bruce is. Like like without him, the city of tomorrow doesn't exist because he was like he was the other dream, the other hope that his parents had, but other than making the city better.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of real, I mean, and it's the same with Space Age. Like there are a lot of really wholesome, like valuable life themes in these books because it's not just like a concentrated, this is a 2 week period, this event happens, something happens to Batman in the end. Like he has a traumatic moment. No, this is like this is his lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, Space Age was the same way. It was all of Clark's lifetime. So the moments where him and John, like, Pa Kent are shucking corn on the front porch, those hit harder.
Well, that just like I was about to say in this, where we do see a Batman that basically he doesn't give up on Gotham, but he does retire being Batman for a bit.
Yeah.
And basically Dick and Barbara take over and they end up having a kid. And you could
Yeah.
see him loving the fact that he's like grandpa, holding the baby,
Yes.
taking care of it,
It's
and
it's and it's so funny because like this is my Batman. This is my Batman book, and because the only reason I feel this way is because I feel like every time, and we've had this conversation a lot. Anytime there's a new Batman run that starts, or like some like big Batman centric crossover, or it's like some maybe sometimes it's even like the Black Label or Elseworld stuff. But I mean, more often than not, it's mainline Batman.
yeah,
Like you'll get to this point where he just can't be happy.
right.
But then we'll get to the end of the run, and he's happy, and these are the reasons why that he's happy. But then new creative team, new direction, new number one. Those reasons why he could be happy are now the reasons why he can't.
Right.
So it's just this never-ending cycle
It's the
where
Spider-Man problem, right? Spider-Man problem. Like we will
yeah,
only get like a happy Spider-Man in other versions of him because to make Batman an ongoing and nonstop title, he can never be happy. He can never get what he wants. So that's why in these type of books, it's incredible to finally see him get what he's always wanted. We
right, a
see like
family
a
to
full
to be
circle.
happy, right, to not be burdened by all of these things because he knows that like one, the boy that he raised is now a man who's capable of filling his shoes,
Right.
and the woman that he's with understands it, and she's willing to take that risk
Yep.
because like at least in this book, Barbara hasn't really faced any tragedy. She was like she's a hippie for a little while and got in with the wrong crowd for like an issue or two.
Yeah.
Dick is pretty much his origins largely unchanged for the most part. But he spent time as Robin. He got to see, and that's another thing that's really good for him in this universe is he got to see Bruce he got to see Bruce retire. He got to see him hang up the cape. He got to see him be a father, a grandfather, be just a person and not just this like figure that hangs out at night and scares everyone.
Right. Until the end when Batman feels it's necessary to put the
Right.
cape and cowl
Right.
back.
Which is like, and I feel like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like you're, it would be dumb to think that like, oh yeah, there wouldn't be a reason he'd put the cape back on or
Right.
the cowl back on because there could always be a reason for him to put the cowl back on. Hell, man, he does it when he's old man Bruce. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like in other universes, he's put the cowl back on after decades because of the situation that calls for it. So I mean, of course, like, and it's and I think another thing about this book that I really enjoy is the fact that every issue is consistent. Like it it picks up on plot threads that may not have been touched for a couple issues.
Yeah.
There's consistent through lines all the way through.
It's gonna read so good in trade. Trade's gonna read so good.
And this is one of those books that while it's really simple to read and follow along with, there are a lot of like interwoven plots going on,
Yeah.
Like you have the stuff that carried over from Space Age into this with Pariah and the Crisis. You've got all these storylines with present day Bruce, younger Bruce, future Bruce. You have the situation with his rogues and the Joker and this comedian that nobody enjoyed.
Yeah.
And you don't really know until later on, like he has multiple interactions with this guy and it turns out it's Joker.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of great stuff here, and there's a lot of really good Easter eggs, cool references to other Batman stuff.
Yeah.
His relationships with all the characters, like his relationship with Selina,
Oh
his
yeah.
relationship with Ra's al Ghul in this is really interesting.
Yeah. How he
You
was like
know,
their general basically.
yeah,
And,
right,
it's-
yeah, and it's basically all of the things you like about Batman from every era of Batman,
right.
but with just enough of a fresh twist that it all feels new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every issue of this I've read, it feels like it's like I got to experience Batman again,
Yeah.
like seeing him for the first time.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like I know Absolute Batman kind of did it too, but this is like a Bruce Wayne that was a troublemaker. He got into trouble a lot. That's
Yeah,
what made him lose his basically stake in the Wayne company.
right. Yeah, because when he turned 18, they said, "Get the hell." Basically, you're in prison, so you lose all your rights to your money and your company.
Right. And there's Pariah. So you're seeing like a Bruce Wayne even then, like, like raised in wealth but losing it all and then picking
Right.
himself up without money. It's really cool. Like,
No, I totally agree. Um, so one thing that I really wanted to like point out was like Joker. I
yeah,
think in general, like most of the time in the like in Batman stuff, I just don't care about Joker. I don't. I really really don't. He's not a I don't think he's that interesting. He's not really a favorite villain of mine in any regard. Like he's just kind of exists. But the use of the Joker in this book, very one unique and two, very very good.
yeah,
Because you don't see the Joker until well, it was the last issue the first time we saw him, right? The
right.
five or the end of four
End
maybe.
of four.
Because yeah, because he's like he falls into the acid or whatever it was, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, so like we don't see him like we don't really see the Joker until halfway into the book, and even then he's wallpaper.
right,
He's just supporting cast. He's just bit like you're built like anticipating when he's gonna actually show up and do something. But like for example, like the first time they see him, he's just he's just telling jokes in the bar and nobody laughs.
right.
I think the second time we see him, it's kind of the same thing. The third time we see him, he's fallen to the acid or whatever.
Yeah,
And then as we see him, like I think we see him a little bit last issue, but we see him a lot in this issue, especially in the latter half,
yeah,
because it, like with Bruce, there's been this escalation of like, he's more desperate to save the city. He's more desperate to do these things because he's realizing he's getting older and he can't do it forever. And he has like there are things that he wants to do that aren't Batman.
right,
So like, but the opposite of that is you have this Joker who like who finally got a laugh out of somebody. But then and then it's kind of a similar scenario. It's just this large, just ever increasing, like, how can I make the joke bigger? But only it's not a joke. It's how can I make the danger bigger? And what can I do to get a reaction? And what can I do to. So
right,
it's just constantly escalating on
right,
both of their parts till we get to the end. First he blows up a car in an impound lot. And then the second one is, he burns down Arkham Asylum. But then he blows up Wayne Enterprises, and then this is kind of where the climax of the book leads, is because this is what draws him, but what draws Bruce back out
right,
is he realizes that it was kind of a fake out, and him and Dick and Barbara go to Wayne Enterprises to handle that. Meanwhile, everything else in this world has escalated because Brainiac has arrived to offer Superman the choice, which is the same thing he did in Space Age, because
right,
Pariah has now spilled the beans that this universe is ending.
right. But basically, basically, Superman basically goes to Batman. Batman's like hurt, whatever, and he's basically like, "What should I do?" And he's just like, "Please, just save Gotham. Just save Gotham. Like that's all I care about. Just save Gotham."
Right.
And you see that Superman does that tenfold, for Bruce here. And
I and it's so cool, man,
yeah,
because like yeah, they have that talk. He says that like well, because that's like so after so because like that's the other part of it too is like Selena's left at home, but then she's like watching on TV and
yeah,
realizing that she has to do something. Like like this is basically kind of like what would Batman do,
right,
and so she does it. She comes in, she saves the day. Um, Unfortunately, she dies. Right?
yeah.
It says that she
Dick
died.
Grayson and Selena do.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, so like Selena dies defeating Brainiac. Um, and meanwhile, everything that's going on at Wayne Enterprises, Dick and the Joker have fallen through like the helicopter pad on the roof.
Right.
And Batman reaches down to save, who he thinks is Dick. But when he pulls him out of the flames, it's the Joker. And we're met with this like back and forth of old Bruce narrating the events and us seeing the events, and then you get this panel where he's like, "That's what I did. I betrayed my parents, my beliefs, everything I thought I stood for." This was like I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
Like I stopped on this page for a good while, and I was like, damn. I'm like, he did it. He killed the Joker.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's weird because like I don't. Most people are like, well, Batman shouldn't kill. I have a bit of a controversial take on it. I
Right.
I I I I think challenging Batman in a way where he cannot get out of it and has to kill somebody. I don't I don't know that it would benefit the character. I think it's an interesting story to tell because he hasn't like we haven't done that yet.
Right. But it's also a fake out.
Right.
You know.
Right. Which is like, which, reading through it the first time, I was expecting it to be like he actually killed him,
Yeah. Me too.
and then literally the next page, you see this guy dressed in green with a little bit of green hair, and I think you've seen him a couple times throughout the book.
Yeah. Just every now and then
Um,
he pops up.
yeah, and then like you see the narration bubble, the box, and it's just the Joker's face. It's a smiley face.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, "Hey man," he's like, "You senile?" He's like, "You never killed the Joker." He's like, "It's me," and it's like you helped me, you basically fixed all my problems. Like you got me the help I needed. You picked me up out of prison, and we've been friends ever since.
Right.
And then yeah, and so like Clark comes in holding Selina's body just after he lost Dick because it flashes back to that night.
Right.
And then you have that little glimpse of Pariah where he says, "Oh well, always next time I got to go to the next universe."
Right.
And then you see Superman make an almost identical choice to the one he made in Space Age, where instead of healing everybody on Earth, getting all their DNA, and sending complete copies of them over to the next universe, he does the one thing Bruce asked, which was save Gotham. And in that crystal, which is what Brainiac allowed one thing to go through into the next universe, it
Right.
was a bottled city of Gotham. And
Yep.
it's interesting to see it like radiate this darkness from the outside. But then as you flip through the last few pages, him and the Joker are talking, and then he opens it up and it's the city of tomorrow.
Right.
Just really like
Yeah, dude.
the this if like I need that Wonder Woman to have a picture perfect final page. I need it to, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Superman's is fucking iconic, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's just that picture. It's just the image of him saying like, "Oh, that's just a friend." Like that's a statue of a friend, and it's just a statue of Superman from the original universe in Space
Yeah.
Age.
Because people are like,
This
why did you erect a statue of himself? He's like, that's not me.
that's a
That's not
friend,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a friend. Like,
It just like gets my heart, dude.
yeah, dude.
I
And
love
this
that
hit
book
too.
so
This hit
much,
me
bro.
too, where I was like, dude, Superman could only save one thing. And it even says Superman was allowed to send one thing through the portal, which Brainiac assumed would be himself.
Yeah, and both times he's chosen against it.
Yeah.
God, dude, I love these
I
books.
love that. Like
And
it's
I really really like the detail in the background where it's Diana's face against the glass
yeah,
from the previous page because they're looking at it. And
right.
she's smiling when she sees them.
I know. I love it, dude. It's so
Ah, I love these books, man.
they're so cool, dude.
So
Like
good.
I and then like it's just it's perfect because you see Bruce grow old and you see like Gotham is saved. Like he
Mhm.
saved Gotham and like Gotham is the paradise that nobody ever thought it could be now. And
Exactly, dude.
it it's so it's almost like now not only what Superman did, like since Gotham is saved, like there's no need for a Batman now. There's no need
Yeah.
for
Well, like, and it's like the not the perfect Batman story, but it's pretty damn close because it gives you everything you could want from a Batman story: the tragedy, the mystery, the darkness, the villain moments, the hero moments. You get some laughs out of it, and you get more tragedy. You
yeah,
get, you get a really, really, really interesting take on the entire mythology, but still stays true to pretty much everything we know.
right.
Batman doesn't kill. You know, he really is a hero at the end of the day, and he wants to do good by the people he cares about and by the city and be good.
Right.
It's good stuff, man. And
Is
it's just then the cherry on top is all Red's art, for
oh
the
yeah.
rest of it. Like the whole damn dude, I just love this book.
Dude, it's incredible. Now for what how would you feel about what if a golden age is this Wonder Woman we leave off with? at
I'm
the
okay
end?
with that.
What if like
I'm okay with that.
this like starts Golden Age, and Golden Age takes place in this universe that
Sure. Yeah.
Bruce is sent to?
I don't have no problem with that because then it kind of because then if you followed along with the first two, you're in the know, you know.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly. And I feel like he put Wonder Woman there for a reason at the
right.
end.
And even more so, I think about too, we don't know where Pariah's at.
Right.
So but if again, if you've been following along with each book, you now know Pariah is going to show up again, and then he's a focal point.
Right.
So when is he going to show up? How is he going to show up? Where is he going to show up? And what is he going to do when he shows up to prepare Wonder Woman for the end?
Right. And
I
what is Superman of that universe going to do?
Dude, it would be really really insane to see them do just have them like the you have the Superman from the end of Space Age, you've got Old Man Bruce Wayne, you've got the Golden Age Diana, and then you get like a whole Justice League lineup like we've been talking about, and they're the ones that fight at the end
That
of
would
the
be
book,
cool.
like
That
you know like an Ages Justice League against the Anti-Monitor.
and Pariah or the
Yeah,
Anti-Monitor.
or both. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
whatever or either or. I don't
that'd
know.
be dope.
The ideas keep just flowing, man. I just have so
Yeah, and
many.
I'm sure if it's swelling for us, for Mark Russell, he's
Oh,
probably, dude,
yeah.
like, because
Dude, we got
he said, if I could do 10 of these age books, I will. Like, if I could.
Oh, please, dude.
Yeah,
Give
and
me
that's when he
crazy,
announced
man.
on that podcast, he was like, it just got approved today. Wonder Woman Golden Age will also be coming out, and he said it's going to be 6 issues, same comic format.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to
Hell
be
yeah,
great.
dude. Hell yeah.
And he said basically, the moment All Red doesn't want to do it, that's
Is
when
when
the
I'm
A
done.
stops. That's when the
And
A
I,
stops.
dude, fingers crossed, All Red never wants to stop because it
Oh
seems
yeah,
like he has to be having fun because these pages are incredible, man.
yeah. I mean, I don't see how you can't be proud of this. This is,
Oh
you know,
yeah, no, 100%. It's incredible work.
yeah. I mean,
No,
we talked about the ending of Superman Space Age, how that stuck with us. This is going to stick with me too. You know,
yeah. I One thing that was like really meaningless in the grand scheme of this book, but I hope that carries on into the next however many he does, is Barry building the ships in a bottle.
yeah,
It's my favorite part of
I
this
love it
book, and when I saw it show up in Batman, I was like, yes.
because it
I
has
was
to
like,
teach him
yes.
patience. He can't just be fast.
Yeah, I just think it's so funny. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think
To get
that's
a
such.
flash book, I would love for that to be like a thing he does often.
Yeah,
I would
I'm
love to see it.
sure if
I
he
think it
can
would
do
be
a
so
flash
good.
book, he will. You know,
Yeah. But
it's
yes, it's a short one today, guys. I got to take off.
yep,
So thanks for tuning in. Check out both Superman Space Age and Batman Dark Age. I'd imagine that Wonder Woman Golden Age, that's the title. That's the official title,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I'd imagine that would probably be out sometime next year,
yeah,
if not 2026. But there was only like a year between Superman and Batman.
right.
So let's say definitely check them out. They're phenomenal reads. They're not super long to read. If you like All Red's art, or if you've never read anything by him, like that he's done art on,
Yeah,
enjoy. It's really good.
yeah, incredible stuff. I first found him from iZombie when that came out, and that's when I got
Yeah,
it. And ever since then, I'm like, dude,
dude,
beautiful
he's
stuff.
killing it, man. He just has a timeless look.
Yeah,
But all
absolutely.
right, guys, peace out. Catch you next
Right
time.
on, guys.